Well, I feel sorry for Jesus. That's how I feel. I don't know how much you know about Jesus, but I feel fucking bad for Jesus, man. I do. He had a hard life. I mean, the last day was particularly difficult, but if you look at pictures of him, he had to wear that thong, that fucking just dish rag yanked up his balls. Just, carrying his cross like fuck, just a rash. Some people say you should live like Jesus. Who can live? He was insane. You can't live like that. He had a weird life. I'm reading about Jesus. I have this book about Jesus. I'm going to share it with you. Okay. This is a book about Jesus. Actually, only this much is about Jesus. Only that, just that part. The rest of it is just the Jews going like, and then we walked for 50 years in the desert, and we only had a little bit of oil. It was difficult. It's fucking verbose. The Julia, just Jews. It just goes on and on. And then Jacob bought a goat, and Abraham lived to be 800. Yeah, I bet he fucking did, too. The Jews in the early chapters are all like 800 years old. And then God was like, I can't with these fucking Jews for 800 years. Heart disease starts today. So that's them. And that's Jesus. All this little part is Jesus. And the weird part is it's not all, like, it's all the same story over and over again. They tell the same story about Jesus' life over again. First Matthew tells it, and then Mark is like, dude, that's not what, you're fucking drunk. Here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Hey, Paul, you weren't even here. Shut the fuck up. And I started reading it because I never read it. I was raised Catholic, but they don't encourage you to read the church. They don't. They don't want you to read this. You know, Jews read this shit in Hebrew. And Baptists sit down, they read together. But the Catholics, they want you to come in the building. They want you to come in, and they tell you. And you're like, can I read it? And they're like, yeah, I'll tell you what happened. You know, sorry, put the book down. But it's interesting because when you read the stories, you know, you think of them as lofty, kind of like, but some of them are just basic life in the Jesus life. Okay, here's one. This is when he turned water into wine. This is his first miracle. This is John chapter 2, okay? Okay, and on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the wedding. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, they have no wine here. And Jesus saith unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? Just life. Mary was a fucking alcoholic. He took her to a wedding, and there's no fucking wine, Jesus. What am I supposed to do here without wine? And he's like, Mom, don't. Anyway, you know the rest of the story is that Jesus, he's at the wedding, they had no wine. So Jesus went to the guy running the wedding, and he was like, look in the water barrel. Like that, like a close-up magician. Why don't you take a look? Maybe it's not the Red Queen. Go ahead, flip that card over. What do you think? Told him to look in the water barrel, and he looked, and it was wine. He had turned all their water into wine. Everybody rejoiced. Except the guy running the wedding was probably like, we did need some water. It's actually a bigger problem. I have a feeling a lot of his miracles were met with mixed. Like, oh, thanks. That's great, Jesus. Fuck. Like Lazarus. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. And Jesus comes to town and he says, Lazarus, rise. And Lazarus comes out of the tomb like, and Lazarus' wife is like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But so here's a story, though, I want to read to you. This story, I've never seen it in a Jesus movie. This story is not in any movies about Jesus. And it's not, I never, until I sat and read this, I never heard this story. Because it's weird. This is the story of Jesus cursing a fig tree. Does anybody by applause know of this story? Okay, that's just enough to make it clear. This is true. I mean, nothing's true in here. But I'm just kidding. I don't fucking know. What do I know? I wasn't there. I'm just trying to make it clear that I didn't make it up. They did. But anyway, all right, I don't know. Okay, here's the story. This is Mark chapter 11. It's when Mark went broke. Okay. And Jesus entered into Jerusalem, and when he had looked around about and seen all things, and the eventide was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12. See, Bethany was like a suburb of Jerusalem. So he went in Jerusalem. You know, you see all the shit downtown, but you don't stay downtown. You go to the Marriott by the airport. You know? That's what Bethany was. Okay? And on the morrow, when they come from Bethany, Jesus was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came to it, if haply he might find anything thereon. But when he came to the tree, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and saith unto the tree, No man shall eat fruit of thee hereafter and forever. And the disciples heard it. And in the morning when they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots and dead. And Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou dost cursest has withered away and died. And Jesus answered and saith unto them, Have faith in God. What the fuck kind of a Jesus story is that? Hey, Jesus, you killed a tree. That's right, motherfucker. What's the fucking point to this story? What is the moral? Jesus just killed a tree. He was hungry. He was fucking cranky. He was like, there's no figs. Fuck you, tree. You're fucking dead, you piece of shit. I wanted a fig. You're fucking dead. Watch this. And the tree's like, but the time of figs is not yet. It's just not yet. I need another week. You want fruit out of season? Go to Whole Foods, you fucking Jew. I didn't do anything. You can't act like that, man. You can't act like that. You walk around acting like that, folks will nail you to a cross. That's what they'll do. They will. You gotta fucking cool it, Jesus. He got a little, that's really what happened. Got a little shitty. A little big, He went to Jerusalem. It's a big town for a boy from Galilee. And he didn't just walk into Jerusalem. He walked in, and his friends were like, King of the Jews, y'all! King of the motherfucking Jews! The Jews didn't like that. The Jews were like, not my president, whatever, So they nailed him to a cross. This is what they did. And this, the weirdest thing to me about Catholicism and all Christianity is this image. This image is the image of the biggest, most powerful religion, the cleanest religion. And it's a fucking dead guy with nails, just blood. And it's in every polite room in the world. Every nice, quiet place is a fucking Jesus. And the president and his wife, and they wear pearls, and then we always go to look at the fucking, it's just weird. Because it promotes nicely ideas like honor thy mother and thy father. Because they, it's just macabre. But I love it. I love the image. I love it. I was raised Catholic my whole life. I love this image. I stare at it. Every time I go by a church, if it's open, I go in because I want to see their Jesus. They all have a different Jesus. They're a little different. Some of them he's really suffering. And some of them he's just like, oh, well. I really got myself in a noodle this time, boy. Sometimes it's just a cross. Like, oh, fuck, where'd he go? Jesus got away. But they're all different. I was in a Korean church, and I saw a Korean Jesus. They had a Korean Jesus with the... Don't get mad. How else would I know? It was just, what, Korean Jesus? Ooh, whatever. Jesus looks different everywhere. Mostly Jesus has blonde hair and blue eyes, which we know he didn't have, but that's who won everything, so they get to draw him. The truth is Jesus was black, but you don't see that often. Black Jesus. Hey man, get me the fuck down from here. Whatever, all right. But everybody wants Jesus to look like them, so they draw him to look like them. That's why I don't like that he's always skinny. Jesus is always rail thin, just fucking, I've been doing Pilates for months getting ready for this. It's not fair. You never see a fat Jesus. I never one time saw like just a fat Jesus. With like 10 nails in each hand. He might have been fat. We don't know. I'll tell you what Jesus was not, is Korean. There's no Koreans in Jerusalem in the year 1. But I was raised Catholic, and I ended up walking away from that because I didn't like it. You know why? Because they tell you you're going to hell. And they tell little kids that. You're 5 years old in the church with all its majesty and all the buildings and the clothes. They go up to a 5-year-old and they're like, oh, you're going to hell. Oh, yeah. You're going right to hell. And you're 5, and you're like, what did I do? And the church is like, you know what you did, you piece of shit. And you're going to full hell, too. There's no kids' hell, you understand? You're going right to the show. If you're 5 years old, you steal a crayon from your sister, and then you lie about it, you get hit by a truck, you're roommates with Hitler. There's no difference. There's no difference. They take you in a room, and they're pouring hot lead into Hitler's asshole. He's like, ah! And then you walk in there like, all right, step up, it's your turn. Hitler's like, oh, good luck, little fella. Poor Hitler, man. I mean, at this point, he's been down there for 75 years. He's probably nice now. Hitler's probably nice to newcomers in hell. You know, hi, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, okay. I was so scared of hell when I was a kid. I remember when I found out that gay people go to hell, according to the church, and I got scared, because I'm not gay, but what if God thinks I'm gay? What if I come off a little queer to the Lord? What if he happens to glance at me when I hit my toe and I'm like, ow? He's like, huh, I know where you're going, you faggot. I mean, that's their thing. I don't believe that. God doesn't hate you because you're gay. God made you gay because he hates you. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There's no God.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. In this video, the one and only Louis C.K., the GOAT of comedy, does it again. Dismantling religion using nothing but jokes and brutal honesty. No sermons, no debates, just a mic, a Bible, and a masterclass in satire. The brilliance of this bit? He simply read the Bible. That's it. The one book that, ironically, might turn you atheist if you actually study it. With razor-sharp wit and fearless honesty, Louis doesn't just mock religion, he dissects it. He holds up a mirror to its contradictions, its oddities, and its downright baffling logic. It's not just comedy, it's satire with teeth. But here's the thing. Louis C.K.'s irreverent take on faith isn't just about laughs. It's a call to think critically, to question the stories we've been told, to wrestle with our doubts, and to confront the mysteries of existence head-on. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, his comedy doesn't just entertain, it challenges. It forces us to ask, what do we really believe, and why? The reason why both believers and non-believers are fascinated by religion lies in the very origins of human storytelling. When humans first invented language, they began to craft narratives, stories to explain the mysteries of existence, to make sense of the world around them, and to grapple with the profound questions of life and death. Religion, in this sense, is a vast, intricate tapestry of belief, woven over millennia by human hands, yet often claimed to be of divine origin. It is, in many ways, the ultimate exercise in collective storytelling, a grand game of telephone where each generation whispers its interpretation of the sacred into the ears of the next. One voice speaks of a singular omnipotent creator, another insists on a trinity. Still others multiply gods or dissolve them entirely. And we, the inheritors of these narratives, are left to wonder, are we beholding truth or merely the echoes of human longing? Religion's enduring power lies in its ability to tap into our deepest fears, hopes, and desires. It offers answers to questions that might otherwise remain unanswerable, providing comfort, purpose, and a sense of belonging. Yet it also invites skepticism, as its stories are often shaped by the cultural, historical, and psychological contexts of those who tell them. In the end, whether one believes or doubts, religion remains a mirror, reflecting humanity's eternal quest for meaning, a testament to our capacity for imagination, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of understanding in an often bewildering universe. Consider the concept of God, an entity said to be all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving. Yet the world we inhabit is one of suffering, chaos, and absurdity. Mosquitoes, cancer, traffic. Theodicy stumbles here, for how can boundless benevolence coexist with such gratuitous misery? Is this the best an omnipotent architect could devise? Or is the divine, if it exists, indifferent or worse, capricious? The question lingers, unanswered, at the heart of human inquiry. Christianity, with its central paradox of the incarnation, presents another enigma. A God who becomes mortal, who suffers, who dies, and in doing so, ostensibly redeems humanity from sin. But what does it mean to be saved by a sacrifice one did not request? The moral weight of this doctrine is immense, yet its logic remains elusive. Is guilt the proper response to unasked-for salvation? Or is this, too, a human construct, a way to bind the faithful through obligation rather than understanding? Catholicism, with its ornate rituals and hierarchical structure, adds another layer. The Pope, infallible in matters of doctrine, yet undeniably human in his flaws. Confession, a cycle of transgression and absolution that mirrors the human condition itself. There is something deeply symbolic in this dance of sin and forgiveness, a recognition of our frailty, yet also, perhaps, a tool to maintain codependency and power. Is the Church a vessel of grace or a self-perpetuating system of control? The answer may depend on whether one stands inside or outside its walls. Yet, for all its contradictions, religion endures, and not without reason. Life is a fragile, bewildering thing, and the notion of a higher power, a grand design, offers solace in the face of chaos. It is the cosmic parent, the watchful eye, the promise that suffering is not meaningless. Even if that parent is silent, even if the eye is blind, the mere idea can be enough to sustain a weary soul. And then there is the afterlife, the ultimate carrot and stick. Heaven with its streets of gold and eternal peace. Hell with its unending torment. a binary so stark. It seems almost mercenary, behave or burn. But what if these are not destinations but metaphors? What if the true afterlife is the legacy we leave in the lives we touch, the deeds we do, the love we share, or fail to? Which leads to the most unsettling question of all. What if there is no God? What if we are, as Nietzsche feared, alone in an indifferent universe, our myths nothing more than flickering lights against the void? The thought is terrifying, yet also strangely liberating. Without divine judgment, we are left to judge ourselves. Without celestial reward or punishment, morality becomes our own responsibility. We are free to live, not for an unseen audience, but for each other. And yet we quarrel over whose deity is real, whose scripture is true, as if divinity were a contest to be won. It is a peculiar spectacle. Human beings, finite and fallible, claiming absolute knowledge of the infinite. Perhaps the greatest irony of religion is that it seeks to explain the mystery of existence while becoming itself another mystery. In the end, religion is neither wholly absurd nor wholly sublime. It is a mirror, reflecting our deepest fears and highest hopes. If it brings comfort, let it. If it inspires goodness, let it. But let us also remember that the search for meaning does not end with dogma. It begins where certainty ends. As for me, I remain unconvinced, but not uncurious. The divine may be elusive, but the questions it provokes are undeniably real. And if there is a God, perhaps it is in the asking, not the answering, that we come closest to whatever truth may be. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to liberate the mind, challenge the soul, and prove that religion is a joke. Please remember to like and subscribe.